Hello guys, welcome back once again to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Kemi Badenoch. Remember the last time when she spoke that she was going to make this citizenship of the UK to be longer for migrants who are seeking asylum, especially those who came in illegally into the UK, that it is no longer going to be possible for people to get that very citizenship within the period of 5 to 6 years, but rather 15 years. And your income must be very high and sustainable before you can even talk of applying for the UK citizenship. So a lot of people have criticized her, saying that you are also an immigrant who came into the UK and now you want to make things difficult for immigrants. She said that it is very easy for people to obtain the UK citizenship. So therefore, when she becomes the prime minister, hopefully, when the next election is going to be conducted, hopefully some people are going to vote her. Some people are also saying that they are not going to vote her for any reason because of her moves against immigration. So you always know that when it comes to Europe, immigration issues play a very vital role in the elections. Some people, when they speak against it, it favors them, but when they speak in favor, it also favors them, depending on the majority. You know that Kemi Badenoch is a Nigerian-born woman who the mother and father took back to the UK at an early age. So since then, she has integrated into the system, became the conservative political party leader, and I'm not going to be surprised if she's going to run for the next prime ministerial election in the UK. Let's quickly take a listen to her. She said that she's going to make it difficult for people to obtain the citizenship. Just watch this interview and help me share it to others. Thank you.
Now is the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch. Kemi Badenoch, welcome to GB News.
Thank you, Chris.
Great to see you. By how much will your plan to make it harder to become a British citizen cut net migration by?
Right now, it's actually about solving a problem that is already here. You will know that we've had many more people come into our country. All of those people are on a conveyor belt to leave to remain and citizenship. Judging by the numbers that came in, about 2 million people could start becoming British citizens by next year. We need to stop that because one of the things that is really creating pressure on public services is the sheer number of people who are here. We're on a housing estate, for instance. I'm here with the Conservative candidate for the Peterborough and Cambridgeshire mayoralty, and we can't build homes fast enough for the people who are here. So we need to make sure that all of the people who are here have to have a meaningful contribution to the UK. So one of the things that we would be changing is making sure that people are net contributors to the UK. Lots of people come in to do work, but they bring dependents, so they're net recipients of welfare benefits. If you've claimed social housing benefits or any benefits at all,
so pay your way, essentially.
More than pay your way, really.
And that's for 5 years you can qualify to be a British citizen, but now it's 10 years. Is that over that whole 10-year period?
It would actually take it from 5 to 15. So because, yes, and that's quite important. British citizenship is not an entitlement. It is not a right. It is a privilege. And we have one of the easiest routes to citizenship, and we need to tighten that up.
You can't say by how much it might cut net migration, so how do you know it's going to work?
I know it's going to work because citizenship is a pull factor for people coming to the UK. Lots of people want to be citizens of our country. It's an amazing place. And we see, millions of people applying for lots of reasons. We see tens of thousands coming in illegally by boat, let alone all the other routes. So we know it is a pull factor, but there's no point trying to measure to the exact percentage points just how much a pull factor it is. We spend a lot of time talking and chatting. Let's just get on with it. And next week, Labour is bringing in a bill that's actually going to make it easier for illegal migrants to get citizenship. They are taking us backwards. We made mistakes, and the party's under new leadership, and I'm starting to look at how we fix those things. Changing the rules around leave to remain is one of them.
Number 10 said this morning there's little or no evidence that doubling the time to get indefinite leave to remain would have an impact. Are they right?
They don't get it. These people are not serious. An absence of evidence that they have tried does not mean that there is no pull factor whatsoever. They need to start doing the right thing. They don't get it. I know they're going to try and oppose us, but we are going to try and stop their bill, which is going to make it easier for people who are here illegally to gain citizenship.
You don't know it's going to work. You just think it's going to work.
I know it will work.
Okay.
I speak, as someone from an immigrant background myself. I have had people who got British citizenship on the indefinite leave to remain route text me today to say we should have done this years ago, that it is too easy, and yes, we benefited, but even the people who benefited think it's too easy. So I know it will work, but just because no one has done a proper study or a survey or asked doesn't mean we shouldn't do the right thing. This is how immigration went up in the first place, with people asking questions of, well, we don't know if we've got evidence and so on. Let's just get on and get this stuff done.
It went up under your government, didn't it, previously, 14 years. How can viewers and listeners of GB News trust you to bring it down if your shadow foreign secretary won't apologise for nearly 1 million arriving in just one calendar year?
You are right. It went up under previous Conservative governments. I am the leader now. The party's under new leadership, and I have acknowledged that those mistakes were made. And she has also come out and talked about how the numbers were too high. Immigration is way too high. We are here on a housing estate where cities and towns are saying that they cannot build fast enough. People can't get GP appointments. The NHS feels overwhelmed. We're spending so much on welfare. The welfare story is extraordinary. And while all of this is happening, we've just had the Bank of England say that unemployment is going up, that inflation is going up, that growth is halved. We need to do something. Just bringing in more and more people is not the answer.
Why do it now then? We thought we were waiting for a couple of years before we heard policy. We now got an actual policy which is not in response to a Labour government policy. Are you worrying about the polls? Is that a panic measure to go hard on immigration right now with reform doing so well?
I said in November that we were going to set out a plan. The first step was the hard cap on visas. This is the next step. So I've always said that we needed to do things on immigration faster. One, because it was one of the areas where we failed. And two, because there are things that Labour can do now. They have a bill coming in next week, which we're going to try and amend. So it is very timely. We can't worry about what other parties are doing. We've just got to get on and start solving problems. And we are the only people who will do the work, go through legislation line by line. It's not just about making announcements. Announcements are not policy. This is something that has a real plan, real steps, is thought through.
Local elections in May. 9 areas, there are no elections now for at least a year, postponed because of the Labour government's changes to the way they structure these unitary authorities. Will you oppose that? There's some research saying that the Tory party will benefit.
I don't know that that's true. I haven't seen that research. I've really looked at this for my local area in Essex. My constituents, people in Essex will know that I have not been a fan of devolution. I have had a different view to the county council. And I just think that more politicians is not the answer to many problems. Let's see what Labour are going to do. They have a huge majority now. There's very little we can do to stop them. Some councils think that they can save money. So let's see what happens. What we need to make sure is that councils are properly funded. The local government settlement, which came in this week, I don't think gives enough to rural areas. I think it's actually disastrous for rural areas. They are underfunding communities like mine in Essex and across the country. And we need to make sure that we get the right funding for local councils.
So you don't oppose the delay in the local elections in 9 areas affecting 5 million people?
To be honest, the thing that I really oppose are the changes. I don't think it is worth making people go out and have elections, every week. That's a waste of their own money. This is taxpayers' money that's being wasted. I do think that we should have tried and done things sooner and faster. But also, this is not an area that central government or opposition has as much say as the local councils themselves. So local councils are the ones that have decided what is best for them. Some of them feel they had a gun to their head put by the Labour government. What we need to make sure is that we make the best of the situation.
How's your party doing? There's reports that you're running out of money, may lose the lease on your London operation.
I don't know where the story about the lease of the London operation came from. Sometimes they're just these strange rumours. So yes, we're raising money. We're doing well. Obviously, we would always like more. We've had an increasing membership. Obviously, we would always like more. So please join. But right now, the job we've got is to rebuild trust with the British public. People need to see that we are a credible alternative to Labour, and I need to show that. That's what I'm doing with the policy on indefinite leave to remain and citizenship, and I hope that people can see that we're doing our job as the opposition.
It's not going past the Tory party.
I don't know where that came
okay.
from. Absolutely
Just quickly on the issue of the voice coach issue with the Prime Minister. The Met Police won't investigate whether lockdown rules were broken when Sir Keir Starmer met his voice coach on Christmas Eve 2000. Are you satisfied with that?
I'm going to look into it more. I always remember during COVID that we broke some of our principles in terms of trusting people, personal responsibility, freedom.
Yeah.
I always felt that the rules had gone too far. I was at the COVID inquiry last week. I talked about how I did not want vaccine passports. It was in all the records. So this is just yet another consequence. What is interesting is just how hypocritical Keir Starmer has been. I don't know anyone who needs emergency voice coaching on Christmas Eve. I just think that is quite a dodgy story.
He wouldn't say that there's this dispatch box, all rules are followed. Now, that's interesting, isn't it?
It's very interesting.
Why wouldn't he?
I think that Keir Starmer is a lawyer, not a leader, and I think he knows exactly what he can and cannot say to get himself out of trouble. And I had worked with my backbench colleagues to make sure that we covered all the questions that we wanted to ask at PMQs, and it was most interesting that he would not say on the floor of the House, because that would mean he was misleading Parliament, which is what he accused Boris Johnson of. That would show that he knows that probably not all the rules were followed. If they were, then he should come out and say that at the dispatch box.
And just finally on the triple lock, the remarks you made last week, they were misinterpreted. That is safe under a Labour government, a Tory government.
I don't think it is safe under a Labour government.
Under a Tory government.
The triple lock was Conservative policy, and it's still Conservative policy.
And will be election next year.
What we need to look at is what's happening now with winter fuel. Labour has taken that away from people, and it's freezing. That's absolutely terrible. They're going after people they think don't vote for them. Pensioners, farmers, small business owners, employee mix. And we've got to show that we're on the side of all these people.
And is it safe under a Tory government?
Yes,
triple lock?
yes,
it is. And you're enjoying the job, just finally. You're enjoying the job?
I am. I like a challenge, but it's also, I love politics, but it's also an opportunity for me to help a lot of people who I didn't have the opportunity to help. I'm not doing this for me. There are much easier things that I could be doing. It is a tough job, but I like the challenge, and I like fixing things.
Right, we'll wait and see. Kemi Badenoch, thank you for joining us. That's Kemi Badenoch Martin, live from Peterborough on a housing estate, talking about her big policy on immigration today. Excellent stuff, Chris Oak.
All right, guys. So you heard Kemi Badenoch's opinion on immigration. Let me know if you support her move to making things difficult for new arrivals in the UK. Now, some people have also criticized her, saying that this is not going to, solve the problems, that the people who are coming are still gonna come. Okay, better still they wait for the 15 years. But what are you guys gonna do to stop them is to deport. That's the suggestion of a lot of people in the comment section. Let me know your own opinion on this very matter with Kemi Badenoch, whether you're standing with her or you're against her. I know that a lot of people would have supported her if she was pushing for things like deportation, if that's her, a basic topic. Then a lot of people would have come and say, yeah, we support that, deport them, mass deportation now. But, saying that you are going to extend the number of years from 5 to 15 to obtain the citizenship will not change much. People are still going to come. A lot of people have spent 20 years in Europe and all that, so they don't mind. So maybe you might just be wasting your time. It may not be a kind of discouragement idea on immigrant. I think that's my own opinion on this matter. Let me know yours. Guys, please don't forget to use tap send if you want to send money to your loved ones and family back home in Nigeria. And don't also forget to use my promo code when doing that, because you are going to get the massive bonus that tap send is offering to people who use my promo code. Write it in capital letters and then see the magic. I'll see you guys on the next one. Your first transaction is completely free. They are not going to charge you, and their rates are also the very best.